I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
This is the Virtual Real Estate Investor Podcast with Vincent Polisi. Buckle your seatbelt and prepare to learn how to legally make six figures investing in real estate with no money, no credit check, and nothing but a computer and internet connection. Learn how you too can begin generating buyers and sellers for free today, and why you're only 2 calls away from making a $10,000 or more payday while never leaving the comfort of your home. And now, your host, the virtual real estate investor, Vincent Polisi.
All right, guys, here we go. This is going to be the very first test of podcasting strictly with an iPhone, utilizing the Boss Jock Studio and nothing else. And I got to figure something out here with this mic because it keeps scratching up against my face and I haven't shaved yet, so you're hearing a scratchy sound. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and dive into this. I'm going to go ahead and cover one of the probably most requested topics on dealing with negotiating with sellers on an owner finance deal where you obviously want to get paid the down payment. The seller, of course, in many cases are going to want the down payment also, and for you to work for free. We don't do that. So let's talk about how we handle the I want the down payment objection that you get from a seller, or how I handle it anyway. It's really very simple. As long as you have done your job and you have explained through the feature benefit process of what all of the benefits to the seller are for the type transaction that we are doing, and I will cover those for you right now so it all makes sense, that the seller, in most cases, is generally getting full price. There are no upfront fees, there's no monthly ongoing fee, and there's no back-end commission paid by the seller. So everything is done at absolutely no expense to them. They get full debt service coverage, PITI, HOA, everything. So you don't have to worry. They don't have to worry about going negative cash flow on a monthly basis. They're deferring all maintenance and repairs, so they don't have any maintenance and repair expense like they would with a standard rental. And because these are actually bona fide sales in the eyes of the IRS, they actually will have a static cash flow on a monthly basis, because unlike a rental, which has variable expenses where if the toilet starts leaking, you have to send a plumber out, if the property taxes go up, if the homeowners insurance goes up, any of those things happen that can immediately negatively impact a seller or landlord's cash flow on a lease option, lease purchase type transaction. On a bona fide sale using an owner finance agreement, they don't have that issue. They get the same amount of money every single month no matter what. So it's a much better deal all the way around for them. And on top of all of that, if they're in a fully amortized loan, which most of them are, they're also getting principal balance reduction. So they're profiting even more than just the full price offer without the realtor commissions and everything else. It is a phenomenal, phenomenal deal, in addition to the fact that unlike a rental deal, where at most they're going to get a security deposit typically of 1 month to cover them for any additional damage to the property, they get full homeowners insurance coverage paid for by the buyer, not them, in the event that the buyer does something crazy and takes baseball bats to the walls and pours paint on the carpet and all the crazy stuff that buyers do. Or I shouldn't say buyers. Typically, it's you see that in foreclosure situations or short sale situations. But you know, we have to think about worst case scenario. Sellers are looking to cover what I call the 2 Ds, damage and default. Those are the big 2 things they're worried about, damage and default. That's it. So we protect against all of those things. And they actually get a homeowner's insurance policy paid for by the buyer, covering them as the mortgagee and additional insured. And what that does then is if the buyer does that and takes the baseball bat to the walls, then the seller, who is now in the position of lender, has an ability to file a claim on the buyer's homeowner's insurance policy. The claim is filed under a vandalism claim. So what that does then is if the guy goes in and does $25,000 worth of damage, unlike a rental where he may have $2,000 security deposit and have to eat the other $23,000, that doesn't work that way. He files a claim for vandalism against the insurance policy, and the adjusters come out, they do their inspection, and they cut him the check for the repairs. So all the way around, you have to understand what your benefits are to the seller so that you can confidently explain and look them dead in the eye. Not that these are all virtual, so I don't ever see anybody, but if you're meeting somebody face to face or if you're on the phone with them, so you can confidently explain to them why it is that you're getting the down payment and they are not, because they're getting all of this other stuff. So the way I do it is, Mr. Seller, the reason and the way that I can pay you full price and cover all the payments and do it with no expense to you, whether it's upfront expense, whether it's monthly expense, whether it's on the backside expense, commissions, whatever, and provide you full insurance coverage against any potential damage, and help insulate and indemnify you against a default if I'm in a sandwich deal, because then I'm on the hook for the monthly payments, which is yet another reason why I have to have the down payment, because this is how I insure myself against that if there's an issue, and then I can quickly, hopefully, resell the property without having to take somebody through the judicial foreclosure or eviction process. Is the reason I can do all of those things is because I'm getting the money for the down payment. So you have to pick your poison. Do you want full price? Do you want no fees? Do you want full payment coverage? Do you want full damage coverage with the homeowner's insurance? Do you want principal balance reduction on your mortgage? Do you want all of those wonderful attributes that you've already indicated that you wanted? And if so, this is what it's going to take to get them. And then you shut up. Okay? You have to learn how to use the silent close. You tell them how it is, and then you just shut up. Okay? The person that speaks next always loses, so don't be that person. Don't try to fill the void of silence with you chatterboxing and shooting yourself in the foot. Just don't do it. It's a phenomenal deal for a seller. Somebody that's sitting there with a vacant property, they're eating payments on a vacant property most of the time. They need to move. They've already moved. Whatever their situation is, it is a phenomenal deal. Are they going to want money? Of course they're going to want money for the down payment. Why wouldn't they? It doesn't hurt to ask for it. But that doesn't mean that you have to give it up, and it doesn't have to mean that you have to allow this to stonewall. You just need to understand how to handle the objection and do it in a very professional manner. Mr. Seller, the way that I can provide you full price, full payment coverage, full homeowner's insurance coverage against any potential damage, principal balance reduction through your amortization, and help indemnify against any missed payments or any kind of default, is because this is how I sell the properties. And I collect the down payment. So, the guy I'm selling the property to, he's got skin in the game. He's got a vested interest not to do any of those things that we're worried about. But if the whole thing goes upside down, I have to be able to right the ship, and this is how I do it. And then you shut up. Okay, it's not rocket science. It's not complex. These are all the benefits. If you want those, this is the deal. Now, you get somebody that balks, which sometimes that will happen. This is real life and real business. Then, basically, the way I run it is, Mr. Seller, if you want to participate in the down payment, we can arrange that, but I will need to then participate in the monthly cash flow and in the back-end profit. How much of that are you willing to give up to get upfront money? And then shut up. Now, most of the time they realize that the game is up at this point, because they've been put on notice that they're being greedy and they're trying to get everything and have you work for them for free, and then it ends up with you not giving them the down payment and the deal moving forward. Anyway, now we had a call the other day, which I will post also, where this situation actually came up. And the seller, no matter what I did, his whole thing was he was looking for $35,000 in cash, so the $700,000 deal, wanting $35,000 in cash to put the deal together. And as I went through the whole thing, it became very obvious and apparent, because he had $300,000 in equity in the property. So he had all this cash, $300,000 in liquid money that he stupidly put into this house that he now can't access, it became very apparent that he didn't have the funds to move. He was moving from Missouri, I believe, down to Destin, Florida. And he was going to need the capital to do that. So instead of giving up the down payment, because all he wanted was, he needed cash, what I ended up doing was negotiating for that amount of money, basically 12 months worth of payments, to be paid up front by the seller. Now you need to understand how this functions now, because no down payment was given up. 12 months worth of payments were going to be paid up front, and then the buyer was going to then continue making monthly payments on a monthly basis. So the buyer was always 12 months in advance. And how does that function on the back end? Well, basically what he got was the seller got a short-term loan, because it's going to be canceled out on the back side. He doesn't just get to keep that money when the buyer, the actual buyer that we sell the property to, ends up closing. He doesn't get to keep that money. It's going to be credited on the HUD right back to the buyer. Okay, so basically it was a short-term interest-free loan is essentially what got negotiated, and it did not impact our money or our ability to get paid on that transaction. That's kind of an extreme one, but if you run into those situations, and sometimes you will, he just doesn't have the cash. He wants to sell, but he can't do it. It's not an objection, it's a condition. I don't have the money to get all my junk out of this house and get down to a property in Florida, which is where I want to be, because I got $300,000 trapped in this thing. That's why we go over and over again that equity is the enemy of investors. You never want to have equity in a property. So it's sitting there illiquid, generating a negative rate of return. You're missing out on tax deductions. It's an absolute disaster. You never want to have equity in a property. This guy was typified exactly why that was, because here he is. If he had access to his $300,000 in cash, nothing would have been an issue, and he'd be down in Florida right now. But as it stands, he doesn't. It's all buried. He's, betting on the come that the payday is going to come someday down the road, where he sells the house and then is able to get his equity back. And in the interim, guess what? He's got very few options. So that's how we negotiated around that situation without actually giving a down payment up. So you got to be flexible in these things. You have to understand what exactly the needs of the seller are. And that doesn't mean, I've never paid a seller down payment on any deal I've ever done. And I wouldn't say that I wouldn't do it. I would just, I shy away from that as much as humanly possible. And I don't advise that you do it either, but you can't go in to these deals and these conversations and be afraid that he's going to ask for the down payment, because it's going to happen. So you just need to be prepared for it. You need to understand exactly how to handle it. And you need to go in guns a-blazing, hit him right between the running lights. Mr. Seller, the way that I can give you full price, the way that I can give you full payment coverage, the way that I can give you full insurance coverage, the way that I can indemnify against any type of a default, pardon me, the way that I can give you principal balance reduction, all of these things, all this additional profit center here in the principal balance reduction, the way I can do all of those things is because of the way the deal is structured, because I get the down payment. That's it. It is what it is. It's my way or the highway. Okay? So that's where you need to get to. Okay? You're not here to waste time. You're not here to play tiddlywinks with these people. They want a deal. They want a solid deal. They want a great deal. It is a great deal for them. Then that's how we do it. Now, if they want to continue screwing around doing what they're doing, wasting time with realtors who aren't going to sell the property, wasting time trying to sell it on their own, they're not going to sell the property, sitting there eating monthly payments on a vacant house, then they can continue doing that and you just move on to the next deal. But if they want a rock solid deal and you have presented it properly with all of those things that I just said, I'm telling you, you will not have the issues that a lot of you are having because you panic when they say they want the down payment. Okay, you've got to learn how to handle that objection. You've got to learn why and be able to equivocate to somebody intelligently and professionally why the way you presented the deal is a unbelievable deal for them, and no, you're not getting the down payment because that's how I get paid today. Okay, you've got to sell from strength, not from weakness, not from panic, and this is how you do it. It's very, very simple. So I hope that helps. If you got any other questions, you need anything, hit me up on Facebook, ask it. We'll get it incorporated into an Ask Vincent Anything session, and we will then continue on. Now that I've got things set up on this iPhone so I can podcast on the go, we will continue on just dropping quality content that you can use and implement today absolutely free. You guys have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Virtual Real Estate Investor Podcast with Vincent Polisi. If you found any value in this podcast, please use our Give to Get method and take a moment to give us a 5-star rating in iTunes and your favorite podcast service so we can keep giving you excellent episodes of real content you can use to profit today.